Just thought we might do something a bit different, and I'm just doing this today on my own. I'm in my study in our new home, and Joyce has just gone out shopping. So the theme and the question I'm asking today is, what keeps you going? We're into a new year, and we just need to have that impetus. The verse going through my mind over the last few days has been the way that Paul spoke to the Christians at Thessalonica, and he said, I remember the work produced by faith, I remember your labor prompted by love, and your endurance inspired by hope. And we always need hope, and we always need something that moves us onwards. And so what does keep you going? Interestingly, after I wrote the message today and just went downstairs, the post had arrived, and a card had arrived from a lady who came on a ministry week in the days when we were living and working at the Hyde, and there was just something. I was just sharing something, and it was all about sometimes when like a curse comes over your life, and it just completely binds you up. And a lady who was there, she just spoke out, and she said, I have my mother became senile when she was around about 50, I think it was, and she said my grandmother was the same, and I'm just moving in that direction, and my life is just consumed with the fear that I am going to become senile when I get to around about 50 years of age. And I just looked at her and I said, that's a curse, and we can break a curse. That curse over your life needs to be broken. And I went over to her, I laid hands on her and I prayed, and I said, I break this curse over you. You are not becoming senile at the age of 50, and you are going to live a full lifespan. Well, the card today tells me that this lady I prayed for many, many years ago has now reached the age of 93, and she is still as sharp and as alert, and she is in good health, and she's rejoicing. And she always reminds, every year, she always reminds me of that prayer that we prayed many, many years ago. And you see, we need a word from heaven that just keeps us moving on. She just heard from heaven that she was not going to become senile. She was going to live her full lifespan, and she was going to live to the glory of God. And that kept her going, and she's still going. And I was just thinking about it a few weeks ago. I thought, I'm just waiting for this. Is this card coming? Has this lady been promoted to glory? No, she's still here, still rejoicing, and still being motivated by the word that God gives. And also, as I woke up this morning, the song, All My Life You Have Been Faithful. All my life you have been so, so good. In every situation, I can trust you because you're the God who sustains me. And so Thanksgiving is a very great motivating thing as we keep thanking God for all the things that go on and the things that happen in our lives. That is a motivation. And so I would just encourage you as we're gonna move into the new year. The weather's not very good, and the news is certainly not at all good. But we have within our hearts, we have a hope. I mean, God's people had been in captivity for 70 years. And when Jeremiah received a word from the Lord, he just spoke it out to these people. He said, hang on a moment. He said, you've had a bad time for 70 years, and you were saying, what's going to happen in the future? And God said, I know the plans I have for you. Plans to give you hope. Plans to give you a future. And that was the word that was spoken into the lives of God's people, and they came back out of captivity. And I've been reading recently about Nehemiah rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem, Ezra going back there and establishing the worship in the temple, and just knowing that he said, the hand of my God was upon me. And that's another thing that we need to know, that God's hand is upon us day by day. He is motivating us. He is encouraging us. He is strengthening us. When we think about being filled with the Holy Spirit, when we think about living a Spirit-filled life, God's Spirit isn't just to try and kind of improve our strength and our health. We just have a supernatural indwelling day by day, and we live by that strength. We don't live by our own strength. It's good to be strong, it's good to be healthy, but it is the strength that God gives to us which enables us to move forward and just to know his blessing on our lives. And so all my life you have been faithful, and as you continue to thank God for his faithfulness, it just puts a stability and a security into your heart, and it helps you know that God is a faithful God, and he is with you, and he is giving you a whole sense of what he wants you to do. And I believe there are many people whose lives we need to touch, and people who we need to be in contact with, and people we need to be praying for, because God is always bigger than the situation that's around us. God has always got better plans than the ones that we might want to fear might happen to us. He wants us to know his blessing, his fruitfulness, and his love upon our lives. Those words of faith, hope and love, which are in that verse I read at the beginning, that was also in 1 Corinthians 13. And we live by faith, we live by hope, and we live by love on a day-by-day basis. So, what's keeping you going? Just keep your eyes on Jesus, and he's got plenty of good things for you to do in this coming year. Have a great time.